Hello, and welcome back to Half-Life Alyx. Let us continue with the Chapter 5, The Northern Star. We are recharged, figuratively and literally, um, and we're ready to go. Um, One thing that I probably wanted to mention, but I forgot because the game took the entirety of my attention, is that, as you can see, I'm running Quest 3. And as much as it is possible, I am running it stock. There is no additional battery pack, no additional, I don't know, how do you call it? Like the face seal things. There is no nose thingy to prevent the bleed, which allows me to glance at my watch, for example. Um, and there are no battery extenders or such. Um, which yeah, the only thing that I do have is the custom lenses to match my prescription glasses. Uh, it helps when you don't need to use glasses to fit inside the helmet. But I also don't have any battery packs, so we are all running on the built-in battery, and I think it is pretty comforting that basically I can play for around 2 hours, maybe 2.5. Depends on how much it was actually charged, but like full charge give you roughly 2.5 hours of gameplay like this. So when the game is just streamed, not actually run on the glasses. Um, and I think it strikes a nice balance to force people to actually take a break and find out how physically they respond to VR. Because I take 10 to 15-minute breaks between my sessions when I record a couple episodes in a row, and between each couple, I take significantly more, around an hour or so, on the days when I do have this time to record. Okay, I smell trouble over here. Yep.
Getting kind of crowded down here, Russ.
Com channel's gone crazy since we took out that substation. They know we're after the vault now. Whatever's in there, they really, really don't want us to have it.
Well, now I just want it more.
Now that's the spirit.
Yay! There was a locked area over there that I was unable to get to. No idea if you are even supposed to get there. Do we have more combine? Oh yeah, we absolutely do. Oh, you bastard.
3 cells left.
Give it to me. Something like that? Maybe it would be more wise to have healing in this item and grenade in this item. But I'm of course just guessing. No, nothing here. Nothing from these guys? Oh. No. Yeah, right through the integrated circuit over there. Okay. This is a good hole. What else do we have in here? And none of these is interactive. Okay. Henry's bar, I assume? Well, that's a mine. Not a mime. A mine. Ah, you cannot open an oven? That's disappointing. Now, before I approach a new element of the gameplay, use multi-tool on a trip mine. Oh.
Steady.
Hacked a trip mine. Okay. Anything else in here?
Trip mines have appeared in prior Half-Life games, and the act of defusing them seemed like a natural fit for a VR game, where players can perform complex operations with their hands. By this point in the game, players have already learned how to hack Combine technology with their multi-tool, but we wanted defusing a trip mine to be more tense than the hacking puzzles. To defuse a trip mine, not only does the player have to place their hand near the laser that could trigger the mine, but they have to perform the task within just a few seconds. Early versions of this puzzle were inspired by lockpicking, resembling a series of tumblers that the player had to quickly align. Unfortunately, the tumbler design required players to rotate their wrists in an uncomfortable manner, particularly given that they had to also avoid touching the laser beam. We removed the rotational component but kept the timing element, leading to the mechanic you see in the final game. We also experimented with causing the trip mines to actually explode if the player failed to defuse them, but most players found this too punishing, especially in cases where a chain reaction of explosions could occur. Instead, the mines just stay active and the player can attempt to defuse them again. We did end up keeping this behavior for the hard difficulty setting, but added a warning sound a few seconds before the mine actually explodes, to give players some time to move away. We also experimented with allowing diffused mines to be removed and redeployed by the player, but we hadn't designed enough combat scenarios around this mechanic for it to be satisfying in practice, so this was left out of the final game.
I struggle to see how I will be able to defuse this one. Hello? Anybody home? I'm armed and dangerous. Okay, so are you. Could have been way worse. I think we dealt with it nicely, starting with this mine over there. Oh, felt like a manhack sound, so I got immediately tripped.
This combat arena that loops back over itself as the player winds through the tenement buildings was one of the earliest test maps built when we began adding Combine soldiers to Half-Life Alyx. One of the lessons we learned from this series of combat encounters was that fighting Combine soldiers was physically taxing on players, as we needed to pay careful attention to pacing. Taking cover, reloading, switching weapons, and acquiring targets really pushed on all the skills that players had learned up until this point. To help cut down on fatigue, we added gaps between the Combine encounters and removed some of the combat altogether to better pace the experience. The trip mines in the stairwell following this battle are a good example of one of the pacing elements we use to slow the player down and let them recuperate before the combat ramps back up again.
None of these have anything useful. So many cupboards. Also, Alyx just like she completely takes them off the hinges. Like, this is terrifying. What? Interesting. Don't hear any sounds. Oh, come on. Oh, I cannot open this washing machine. Horrible. Okay.
Russ, are they saying my name?
Yeah, that's not good.
I do not recall Combine being able to actually, well, use these kind of baiting tactics. What do you reckon? One of them ought to have something, not even the bottom one. Nothing in here. What gives? Maybe in the kitchen. Some shells. More shells. Resin. Nope. I think this was it. I had no idea that these things are actually timed. Oh, now I see the timer, okay.
Three left.
It's either the spread is so horrible. Yeah, probably just the spread is so horrible, because on point blank the shotgun is the king.
Last shell.
But on any distance, shotgun becomes so bad.
It was an interesting challenge for artists and level designers to employ environmental storytelling to paint a picture of what may have happened inside the walls of the quarantine zone. Just like the hotel, these apartments have been overrun by Zen foliage and are filled with people's belongings, abandoned in haste. In this area, the walls have been torn down, either by destructive portal storms or perhaps the Combine's cleanup effort. Barrels of fluid used by workers to try and treat or contain the Zen growth have been left behind, and it would appear that the cleanup efforts have either failed or been abandoned. By not explaining every facet of the world, we leave players with the opportunity to imagine for themselves the bigger picture of life in City 17.
I'm so irritated that the headcrab took 3 shells. Not 3, 2, but still. It's one too many. One too many. I mean, I don't have that many shells to begin with. Maybe I could use SMG more effectively then. Infestation control cleanup solution. What do you reckon, up or down? I reckon up. At least they do give me more shells. So that I do not feel that beast, apparently. Alrighty. Let's keep going. This time we are going up. I saw that some barrels, they actually have this lid. It mixes up the solution inside. Anything over here? Yeah, like this one. So they keep mixing them so that maybe it does not cure or anything. Oh, don't do that to me. Ew. Smokes. Anything over here? Not that I can spot. Nope. Okay. And then we made another loop. Got it. Yep. Combine. No respect to private property.
Oh, your dad's back.
Oh, thank God.
Russell! God damn, it's good to speak. Likewise. Oh, this is great. Honestly, I'd pegged your survival at about 4%.
You can thank that Fortigun. He got me back here in one piece.
Russ? Russell, put Dad on.
Alyx, baby!
Dad! We just took down a substation.
Good. Because when they move this thing, that weapon's gone. We need to get it tonight.
We will. You still got that data pod, right?
I do. Russ, this thing's bio-coded. I'm gonna need the TLI.
Yep, it's right over there.
Okay, great. You good, honey?
For sure. You go ahead. I'll be fine, Dad. I promise.
Keep that promise. I'll get to work on the data pod.
Foreshadowing, eh? I'm dangerous. I'm armed.
Once we had the spine of the game complete, teams went through the maps looking for additional opportunities to add the character and tone that players associate with the Half-Life games. This Mannequin headcrab was a fun opportunity to hit on the sci-fi horror B-movie vibe. We had a few conversations about how long to leave the headcrab atop the Mannequin, and decided that the experience should be analogous to catching a small dog in the middle of some mischief. We wanted players to feel like they had walked in on something they weren't supposed to see, and for them to go away feeling like every inch of the game contained something for them to find if they chose to explore it. After an early update to the headcrab sounds where details like breathing and grunting were added for the first time, we received feedback that the new sounds were too cute and familiar, moving the headcrab too far in the direction of a cuddly creature rather than an alien threat. We updated the sounds to be more threatening, but for this headcrab we brought back some of the cuter sounds to sell the headcrab's frustration with the Mannequin.
I can certainly see how the earlier sounds were way too cute. This is not a terrifying creature that wants to eat your brain and make the zombie out of you with another mouth-shaped thing in your belly. Pistol hopper?
In order to reduce the amount of reloading required in the heat of battle, we wanted players to be able to upgrade the pistol by increasing its ammo capacity. That might seem like a small change, but implementing it in a way that was intuitive to players and that didn't have a lot of negative side effects was surprisingly tricky to get right. Our initial mechanic for increasing the ammo capacity was to use double-sized clips. Once the pistol was upgraded, the player's backpack held clips with twice as many bullets, and those were represented by a clip model that was twice as long. But unfortunately, the longer clips presented a lot of distracting fictional problems. For one, they looked ridiculous protruding out of the bottom of the pistol. Players were also left wondering what was going on in their backpack to transform the single capacity clips that they put in there into the double capacity versions that they were pulling out.
That's a good
We were
question.
also left with the sort of absurd implication that the pistol clips found in the world now magically all had to be the upgraded double-sized versions. While we did scrap the double-sized clips, the concept was still enticing. We just needed to find a better metaphor. So then we started looking at the hoppers that were used on paintball guns that can store large amounts of paintballs. In fact, the final upgrade that resulted from this whole line of thinking is still internally referred to as the bullet hopper. So with this in mind, we next needed to design an intuitive interaction model. Players were already satisfied with our existing pistol interaction loop, which was eject clip, insert the next one, chamber, and then shoot. So we wanted to preserve these skills that players were already beginning to master. So players would still reload the gun as before, but small mechanical prongs would steal bullets from the inserted clip, pull them into the hopper, and then place them into the firing chamber as needed. Audio cues were also added to clearly communicate the state of the hopper loading process. The hopper also impacted the visual design that we used to convey the state of the pistol. Originally, the clips themselves had a numerical counter indicating the number of bullets remaining. And on its own, this was fine, and players understood it easily. But the readout on the bullet hopper was on the opposite side of the pistol, and had a pattern of blue dots indicating the amount of bullets remaining. So these two representations in two different locations made it difficult for players to quickly determine the total number of bullets in the upgraded gun. To solve this, we designed a single visual readout on the side of the pistol grip. It structurally matched the state of a pistol clip, the pistol's bullet chamber, and the bullet hopper if the upgrade was acquired.
Wait, how does that work? You still hold 30. Oh! Okay, so I can...
He left.
Yeah, and now I can stack you. Shit. Okay, I can only put 3. I can flick you over there, and then I'm super armed and dangerous. I decided to go with this one instead of the laser sight right now, because I had no indication of how many bullets I have left unless I open this HUD. And HUD is nice and all, but this just feels more native. Like, I can easily ascertain when I'm in cover whether I need to use the opportunity to load up more ammunition without the necessity to hold this menu and read the number, because I mostly use this like the... Did you just give me this upgrade? No, wait. You really just give me this upgrade? Yeah, bullet reservoir is owned. Yo, okay. Well, that is an interesting thing when the game dev comment just upgraded my gun, and well, that's nice. I certainly can appreciate it. Huh. This is cool, actually. Though, how do you work? It looks like it chambers the bullet from this extra storage on the right the moment it's clipped away. At least that's what animation suggests. And then when you load it, maybe somehow it goes from the mag. It's not very clear. So it's just some kind of thingamabob that somehow works. Yeah, okay. I guess that's on me. Would be nice if you can toggle the laser sight. So anyway, but as I was saying, I'm using this menu without reading the numbers. So you can easily see how many shells you have for the shotgun, you can see where the grenade is there. There is a nice visual indicator for the pistol on the side where you can assess it. It also has a graphical indicator when it's depleted, where there will be like a red light and everything. But for SMG, it was always a problem because you can see the core, and I assume as you shoot it, maybe the red light depletes. Maybe I did not pay attention to that. But it's not entirely clear to me. But now I can see that apart from the core that is loaded, I have 3 more. So I'm not worried about the reload at least. And also, really, thank you so much for the free upgrade.
Last cell.
This was so bad. I missed the guy, I missed everything. Oh god. Can I... Maybe I can? Maybe I cannot. I don't know. I'm just so ashamed of this whole experience. This was so utterly bad. How I jumped down. I did not explore the area above. I'm pissed about that. Quite significantly, I must add. Suppressor introduction.
It's generally a requirement that all new enemy types have a section of the game designed to introduce them. We rarely build the introduction early on in the process though, because it's often through playtesting that we learn exactly what aspects of the new enemy need to be highlighted in the introduction. In addition to understanding the capabilities of a new enemy, we also find introductions help solidify the very existence of the new enemy type in the player's mind. Without an explicit introduction, we sometimes find that playtesters confuse multiple enemy types, conflating them in their minds. This was the case with the Suppressor, the class of soldier that's designed to pin a player behind cover while other soldiers advance on them. The Suppressor is an inversion of the previous soldier classes, who've all focused on trying to push players out of cover. The Suppressor introduction stretches across the next 2 rooms. In the first, players see the Suppressor firing at zombies, giving the player a moment to safely observe its firing behavior. They also get to hear its associated sounds, which are important to learn for future encounters. In the second room, players learn to fight the Suppressor themselves. This is relatively straightforward when the Suppressor is alone, but will become more involved in later arenas where we combine the Suppressor with other soldier types.
Cool. Suppressors.
Oh. Whew. Okay.
Yeah. Not my best job. I can agree on that. Yeah, there is a door from the left. somehow. But where from the left? Because there is nothing over here, so... Ugh. So... resin. Yeah, I mean... they do give you that, but for what reason is a little bit unknown. I don't see any explosives that I could drag to the barnacles, or anything like that. Sure, Mr. Suppressor, suppress this.
Okay, there's no direct path from where you are to the vault, so you're going to have to snake your way there.
Well, it's huge, so it shouldn't be hard to know which way I'm going. I don't understand what they're doing with it here. If this weapon is so powerful, why keep it locked up in a dump like this?
My guess is they're trying to find a way to ship it off Earth, back to their home or some other planet.
Why not use it here?
They already won this war, Alyx.
It isn't practical to spend development time or art resources evenly across every part of the game, so we rely on strategic reuse of resources to maintain fidelity and specificity across the game's environments. This space was initially constructed using industrial models and textures seen throughout many previous environments. To set it apart, we added the large cables and Vortigaunt pods to imply a makeshift combine power plant whose purpose was to transmit energy to the substations. The juxtaposition of this abandoned industrial space with the large combine cables created enough visual interest to make the space feel meaningful at a relatively low cost. The cable motif was subsequently added to other parts of the game to increase visual interest and give the player a sense of being led toward the vault. It may not be obvious, but the cables exiting through the ceiling here continue on to the exterior of the building, across the large construction courtyard, and over the roof of the distillery building, presumably continuing on to a substation or other combine infrastructure. Players may not notice that continuation, but such details help guide us in building a world that feels connected and consistent.
Damn. The fact that they connected the cables all the way like this is truly insane. You know, there are videos like, all these pipes in Fallout 4, where do they lead? And people find out that nowhere. They just piece of pipes. Meanwhile, here, we have cables. We have vault in the sky. And these cables need to lead you over there. Damn. I want another try. Give it to me. I was a little bit reckless. I can agree on that. I was way more reckless. I'm sorry. I'm being a little bit impatient. Let's see. There is one. Oh, so many of them. Ah, done. Let's see what's inside. Hopefully a syringe. Yes. Ugh. Oh, that's a lot of combined zombies. Zombines. Ugh. Ugh. It's not mouth, it's the rib cage on the belly. Okay, that kinda makes maybe more sense. Just the rib cage that was broken apart. Is there something? No, it's a tin can. Okay. Okay. Don't have that many shells to just spend them on all of them. But I can spend on some of them. Oh. Excuse me. Don't you dare move. Just in case. Okay. Could have probably shot this thing. Okay, that's one part of my headgear restored. Now if only I can have a respirator. Oh, I can't see you. Why would I do that? Okay.
Three shells left.
Don't remind me, please. Ah, how dare you? Just how dare you? I mean, there is a door over there. Is that where I'm supposed to go? Small room. Nothing inside, just headgear. I presume then yes, I need to jump over the cement bags and get to the door. Alrighty. I admit that at this point I feel relatively calm with the combat and with how it all goes. Okay. 90 bullets. Okay, I thought I have a little bit more. Have 6 shells here. Okay. I assume those are the cables that we were talking about. Okay. Okay. The damn door closed behind me. Yeah, depleted. That might be a good idea to have a 3-shot burst, so that maybe you open up a combat with... No! So that maybe you open up a combat with... how do I get out of here? Wait a gosh darn moment. So that you maybe open... Yeah, okay. You open up the combat with a powerful burst, and after that you proceed with... Stop moving! Still 60. Getting a bit low, but I assume when we get more combine encounter, we will start using SMG. Oh, I did it wrongly, I believe. I used to teleport on the ladder, but now I did it that way. We're still largely fine, but I just did not expect that I will do it like this. All in VR.
One problem we faced with the VR movement styles that Alyx supported was keeping the combat experience from diverging based upon whether players were using teleport or continuous movement. If the combat was significantly different depending on the player's movement setting, our playtesting requirements could explode combinatorially. One way that we prevented this combinatorial explosion was by ensuring that AIs could sense player movement no matter which locomotion style the player was using. To do this, we created a visual proxy for players using teleport locomotion. Imagine a scenario where the player is behind cover, hidden from a soldier's sight. If the player used continuous movement to run to another piece of nearby cover, the soldier would see them while they were out in the open. But a player who instantly teleported from one piece of cover to the next would not be seen. To solve this discrepancy, when a player teleports, we leave a breadcrumb trail of invisible visual proxies, which the enemy AI can see. These proxies pass information to the AI similar to what it would have gathered from seeing the player perform the movement directly. In this case, the soldier would know the teleporting player had left the original cover and run across open ground to the new cover, just like a player using continuous motion. While obviously not identical, in that the soldier didn't have a chance to take a shot at the teleporting player, these kinds of features did allow us to reduce the number of ways our AI logic needed to take player movement options into consideration.
It is indeed a funny problem to have when you're developing a VR game.
You've got company.
You think? That felt okay. So I know I probably could have done better, but without the laser sight and an SMG, that felt pretty alright. I still need to find some syringes to fix my health situation. And obviously they should be somewhere in the toilet, which is why I pay so much attention to pillaging these particular places. Can you please? Wait. Why am I standing like this? I'm supposed to be standing like that. Okay. That will probably be an interesting moment to figure out on recording when things went wrong and I turned around. No, I want... No, nothing? In all of that area, nothing?
One left.
It's not clear whether the enemy is supposed to be within the small window over there on the side or on top of the iron side that is like this plank, you know. I guess this is just supposed to be a heat spreader or something, but it forms such a nice frame to align the enemy. But I did notice that I need to target a little bit more to the right if I want to actually hit them. Somebody pooped the resin. That's way better. NPTME. Oh. I don't know. Oh. Okay. Shish. Come on. Got him. Okay. So far, so good.
Last one.
Okay. Yep, SMG is out. You. Lost a bit of health, but I just replenished some of it. So again, like, not a tragedy per se. Ugh. He blinded me when I was staring at his shield. He freaking blinded me. How dares he, right? So I was about to say that I don't exactly know why I picked up making grunt sounds when I am... Why are you making that? Why were you blinking? Why are you blinking? And where are you blinking? Nope. Yep. Nah. It's not blinking anymore. But it was blinking over here. Okay, it kind of blinks in this direction. I'm thinking like, what if this is some kind of like resin indicator, right? I cannot figure it out though. It still blinks here though, right? Yeah.
For Half-Life Alyx, we wanted to expand the functionality of our Soundscape system, which is used to play ambient sounds. In prior games, we could generally only play one soundscape at a time. The player would be hearing either Soundscape A or Soundscape B, with a brief crossfade from one to the other. In this game, the soundscapes are much more flexible and can be overlapped in ways that enable more realistic transitions. For example, the volume of different soundscapes can be controlled by the player's position and the open or closed state of particular doors in the world. We frequently use this functionality in areas like this transition between indoor and outdoor spaces. If you pause outside for a moment, you'll notice the crickets, birds, distant dog barks, and other environmental sounds that help paint the picture of the quarantine zone late in the day. As you move into the indoor area, you'll notice the outdoor soundscape diminish as you move away from the door. In fact, if you close the door, the volume of the outdoor soundscape is reduced even further. And as you progress into the building, you'll begin to notice the indoor soundscape consisting of the indistinct hum of machinery and buzz of electrical fixtures.
This flashing actually bothers me a lot. I didn't notice it before, but now it's all I can think about. Hello. Goodbye. Still flashes. Maybe it's just a regular flash. I mean, to indicate that this thing is in working, properly functioning order. Because, look, I'm right next to the resin. More than that, I can hold it in my hand, and nothing changes. Yep. So, I shall not bother myself too much with that. Am I not supposed to go here? Okay. Yep, that was not the button I wanted to press. So I already wanted to kind of climb over the fence, but because it barbed, I don't think I can do it. It's nice that this thing casts shadows, by the way. So let's see what else do we have over here. Well, we have glass, so we can do this. No. It's crouch in the real world. Okay, you are biting me with resin now. How dare you? Ugh. I will disarm them simply because I can, right? And that's how you do it. Now, before we enter this room, and before we go any further, let me pause over here and go on a break, and we will continue the next time. Chapter 6, Arms Race. Getting more involved with the Combine. Feeling pretty comfortable about my combat now, but we'll see as we're presented more and more complex enemies how my confidence will, where it will go, where it will sway. Pretty comfortable that, like, how are we doing in terms of our ammunition. Feels like we have enough for SMG and for the pistol. I'm not happy about how shotgun feels, but right now it is practically a grenade launcher for me. So maybe I will concentrate on the upgrades towards the SMG to maybe get this laser sight. Might get the pistol upgrade, the burst shot, because I am using pistol for finishing up the last enemy usually, so that I do not waste ammunition that I consider maybe a little bit more precious, and maybe burst shot will ease that. Or maybe I should just hold everything off and another dev commentary will provide me another upgrade. That would be super nice. Anyway, we'll figure it out later. For now, thank you so much for staying with me. I hope you enjoy my company and my gameplay, and if that is the case, then please leave me a like and subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, let me know down in the comments what I can improve for you. I hope to see you next time. Have a nice day out there, and bye.